Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to ADQ's Renaissance. I think there just might be some force of nature or something out there, some vibe out there that does not want me to tell you all this greatness that I have to provide for you all today because it's been a little bit of a struggle to adequately and fully record this episode for you all and give it to you all. But hey, it's Monday morning and we're still cooking. We're still cooking, all right? We're still cooking. Um, let's see. I've given great details of some theatrical shows that are taking place in the area, and um tap into the audio version of this episode for to hear it. Um, a lot of theaters got a lot of great things going on. One of them I am participating in. So um, but what I was about to start saying, and I am going to go ahead and expound upon. So I am offering this. I am presenting this on a Monday morning, but I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon. This particular Sunday today is Mother's Day. Now, while it is a mainstream consumer-based thing to narrative to celebrate your mothers and everything, which is something that I honestly think that you should be doing every day. There is a population out there of people with mothers, of people who do not have a good relationship with their mothers. There's a population out there of people whose mothers may have passed on, so this day may be a bit sensitive to them. Um, I'm not going to go completely into this because I just don't want to. But I will say once an authority figure of mine on the job asked me if I went to see my mother for Mother's Day, if I gave her anything, and I said no. I don't celebrate Mother's Day. I don't acknowledge Mother's Day. None of that. Well, I do acknowledge Mother's Day because I will wish Mother's Day to women who have been instrumental in my life. But as far as my own personal relationship with my biological mother, it is not a good relationship at all. It never has been. Um, so me, I just show love and show love to friends who are mothers. Um, if I'm dating a woman who's a mother, her too, all that, but I do not have any reverence for any holiday, Mother's Day being one of them. And I would like to say to anybody who is listening to this, who is watching this, if you do not have a good relationship with your mother, I would just say make sure you love yourself. Make sure you love yourself. I am a strong advocate for self-love. Anyone who looks at you and says you only get one mother, that's BS. Yes, you get one mother, but if you live long enough, if you are an open individual long enough, then you are going to encounter women who cannot help but thrust motherly energy onto you. That has been my story. You know what I'm saying? There have been times when me and my biological mother, we've had good times and everything, but it's just a story relationship that I'd rather save for the therapist couch and not for my podcast. But I would say to you, if you're listening, if you're watching this, and you do not have a good relationship with your mother, first challenge: forgive her. Forgive her for any wrong that she has done. Why? Because that forgiveness is not for her; it is for you. Because if you are living life, if you are carrying around vitriol, bitterness, and hatred towards an individual, that saps you of your energy. You know what I'm saying? And saps you and relieves you of any positivity that you can contribute to society. Why? Because while you're trying to contribute positivity or productivity or fruitfulness is going to be tainted by this hatred that you have for this other person. Is an encapsulating energy that you may have. So first thing first, forgive your mother. Second thing, you do not have to deal with her. You don't. You really don't. Um, you can love somebody from afar. That is the thing. You can love somebody from a distance. Because if they are coming at you with the type of energy that completely just drowns out your existence, then they don't need to be there I don't care who they are. Third of all, and I believe this is most important, love you. Make sure that you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, because recently I learned of a whole bunch of kids who don't love themselves, and it's really sad. Then wake up every single morning, look yourself in the mirror, and stare at yourself until you can muster up enough energy to name 3 things that you like about yourself, and then you say, I love you. Like me saying, I love you, Adrian. I make sure that you love yourself, because when you are so full of love for yourself, then whatever negative, then eventually as time goes on, that negativity that your parents had tried to thrust upon you because they were not healed from whatever trauma they dealt with, it would become less and less and less and less and less effective. So that is my challenge to you who is listening to this. Because there's enough negativity going on in this world. We need to shut it down. We need to end it right now. You feel me? So one reason why is because that negativity feeds into very, very toxic behavior. One toxic behavior I have, perpetuated for maybe a year or 2 or 3 was sexual promiscuity. Cover your ears, kids. um, Today, I went to church. Right, again, I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon. And one scripture that stuck out to me was Proverbs chapter 31. We talk about Proverbs chapter 31. We talk about the virtuous woman, but this is what it says. Proverbs 31 verse 3. It says, "Do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings." Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I've given my strength to women too many times. You know what I'm saying? I've allowed myself to get caught up in the season of sexual promiscuity. But when you are wrapped up in sexual promiscuity, that means that there's something missing in your life. That obsession with something, the way that addiction to something is kind of like trying to fill the lack thereof that may be occurring in your life, and that's something that we all need to acknowledge and try and fix through prayer, through meditation, through other ways of healing, because there could be a whole aspect of healing that need to occur for that, right? Let's see. Chapter verse 4. It is not for kings or Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine or rulers to take strong drink. I'm not a drinker, so that doesn't apply to me. But we'll go to, let's see, verse 8. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute, the homeless. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. Just letting you know, downtown Greensboro is filled with homeless people, and yet they are tearing down the old Greensboro News and Record building. Oh, what that can be! Oh, what they can do with that building to help the homeless and the needy downtown. And they are like, and if I'm not mistaken, they're like, forcing them to outskirts of forces or whatever. So yeah, um, That's Proverbs chapter 31, verse 3, 4, 8, and 9. All right. So, yeah, love yourself. Love yourself. Okay. Don't be looking for love from anyone else. Nah. Love from other people will come eventually. I think about the story of Naomi. The story of Ruth and Naomi. Ruth it's in the Bible. It's in the book of Ruth. This is before Boaz. Ruth's husband had died. Her sister-in-law's husband also died. Both husbands were sons of Naomi, and Naomi was such a powerful figure to Ruth, such a powerful mother figure that Ruth decided, hey, I'm gonna hitch my wagon to this woman. I'm gonna follow her. And that's exactly what she did. And so when I think about the mother figures that have taken place in my life, that's what I do. Um, so yeah, yeah. So I read this article today. I mentioned this before on this podcast about being an Uncle Tom. Yeah, we're going to transition now. We're going to talk about being an Uncle Tom. Even as the great El Haj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X, whose birthday is coming up, um, as brilliant as he would call certain Negro leaders, Martin Luther King being one of them, and Uncle Tom. But the description of Uncle Tom is not factual at all. So where does this narrative that is Uncle Tom comes from? It comes from this book that is called Uncle Tom's Cabin. I'm just going to read this article. Um, Most people have heard or used the term Uncle Tom when we refer to a sellout, but did you know that the inference is totally wrong? The real Uncle Tom was a hero. Josiah Henson was an abolitionist who helped slaves escape, among other great things. Josiah Henson was born into slavery in 1789 in Charles County, Maryland. Growing up, he watched his father receive beatings for standing up to his slave owner and witnessed his father's ear being severed as a part of the punishment, but also his father being sold off. Upon the death of his father, of his owner, Henson was also separated from his family in an estate deal. Sale. He remained on his new owner's farm in Montgomery County, Maryland, until he was an adult. As he aged, he rose to become a trusted enslaved and supervised other enslaved people on the farm. However, he used his new position to make his escape from slavery. Following the Underground Railroad, Henson escaped from Maryland to the province of Upper Canada in Ontario, Canada, with his wife and four children by way of the Niagara River in 1830. Henson worked on farms in his first years in Canada to support his family. In 1834, he founded a black settlement on rented land. He purchased 200 acres of land in Kent County and founded a settlement and laborers' school for other fugitive slaves. Henson later became a Methodist preacher and a conductor on the Underground Railroad between Tennessee and Ontario, helping the enslaved escape from slavery. He also served as a military officer in the British Army in Canada. So stop calling these sellouts Uncle Tom. That's a compliment. It's Sambo that was a sellout. Sambo. The Sambo is a archetype. It's a slave archetype. And the Sambo will do anything for his master's approval. Have you seen Django? Stephen was a full on zip down Sambo. So, what's the difference between? So, let's break this down just a little bit. All right, I'm not going to talk long. Okay, I've been called an Uncle Tom. Anybody who knows me and the type of knowledge that I kick on a regular basis will know that ADQ is no Uncle Tom. But I'm sorry. See, I just contradicted myself. I've been calling Uncle Tom without knowing what Uncle Tom really is. I've been called an Oreo. Why? Because because of the mere fact that I, ADQ, do not fulfill the stereotypical the description or lens of a black man. That's why I want to tell you all that I believe that there is absolutely no such thing as acting black. You cannot act black. What did Carlton Banks say in a powerful episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? He and Will Smith were trying to get into a fraternity. Will being a hip hop loving, dancing and whatnot brother from Philadelphia, was more accepted by the heads of the fraternity. But the fraternity, who was one of these so-called conscious brothers, had the locks and everything. No disrespect to the conscious, no disrespect to the locks, but just roll with me as I'm painting this picture. Will gets in. Will's a cool kid. Will gets in. Carlton is rejected. Why? Because the head of the fraternity, a brother who I believe was actually in School Days, the Spike Lee movie School Days, doing the butt. Anyway, he rejects Carlton because of what Carlton is. Carlton's a conservative. Carlton dresses up, dresses more conservatively. Carlton is from a rich family, and lives on a very, very rich part of town, right? Will, however, is more accepted because he's more hip hop loving, fun loving, and is great with the girls, and he's from West Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? So we have painted that picture right there, that distinction among different classes of black people. But what did Carlton Banks say? He said, being black is not what I'm trying to be, it's what I am. I am running the same races and jumping the same hurdles you are, so why are you tripping me up? There's no such thing as acting black. Carlton didn't say that. I'm saying that. You don't have, if you are black, you are black. Period. There's recently been an argument rather. Sorry about that. There's recently been a distinctive argument rather about J. Cole and Drake. By the way, I recorded an episode on Rap Beef like a couple weeks ago. Kendrick been spanking Drake's behind. You know what I'm saying? He's just been laying the smack down. And, Metro booming with the joint. Baby Al Drizzy has been playing in my head all non-stop. And I'm okay with that. BBL Drizzy and songs from Beautiful. But what I'm trying to get at is Drake is biracial. He has a Jewish mother and a black father. So is J. Cole. Both of them are biracial, right? Both of them have white mothers and black fathers, right? J. Cole and Kendrick said in a lyric, that Drake using the N-word makes him cringe, right? Whereas J. Cole uses it a ton in his brilliant lyrics, but I hate, you know what I'm saying? But J. Cole uses it. One would call Drake a culture vulture, yet one will also call J. Cole down and can come to the cookout, right? But they both have a white mother and a black father. Guess who else has a white mother and a black father and was raised in a white household and is very much invited to the cookout? Barack Hussein Obama, whom we have looked at as the black savior for 8 years. But if you listen to him talk, he's going to sound super articulate, non-stereotypical in every way, shape, form, and fashion. So what are we really saying here? What are we really saying here? So does one speaking articulately and dressing a certain way, does that quantify them as a sellout? Me personally, I don't think so, but in the minds of ignorant people, it does. However, when Barack Obama comes on the scene, you are all over him. Yet we're calling Drake, who also has a white mother and a black father, a culture vulture. As much as I dislike Drake, he is not a culture vulture. Blackness is not a monolith. There are so many different realms of black people living this human experience. Just because they don't cuss, go after T, they can just because they cannot recite the lyrics of Good Times, which the reboot is a complete hot garbage. Um, just because they don't know, just because they don't say all the time when someone says God is good, that does not take away or deviate in any way, shape, or form their blackness. I mean, if you really want to get real, I say this in the poem. Look at me. My beard is black and white a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My beard is black, my hair is black, but my skin's not black. I'm not black. My skin's not black. It's brown. It matches a brown crayon. Ooh, are we ready for that discussion? Ooh. Are we ready for that one? What makes me black? Number one, what makes me black is the fact that the Portuguese was speaking Spanish during the early years of the slave trade, of the child slave trade, and they refer to the darker people as Negro because or Negro, my bad, Negro, which is Spanish for black. But what is the root word of Negro, which means death. So if you call someone black, you kind of calling them a dead person. Really deep thinkers would say that. Me, I just go along with black. I just go along with black just for the sake of conversation and to save time. But you know, if you really, really, really think about it, Israelites will tell you the same thing. They would look at you and say that you're an Israelite. Um, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would call you a so-called Negro. So we running around here. We're running around here. Daggone, there are people who call us who say that we're Africans. I say we're Africans. I call myself an American-born African. Uh, or you know, the census would call me an African American. I say American-born African. However, you do not become an American that is associated with another continent unless you actually come from that continent. That will make you an African American because you got the dash and the hyphen, and you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. How about we just call ourselves melanated individuals? Because there's also black people or African Americans who don't even come from who have no ties to Africa, whose genealogy will show zero Africa, maybe a Kibula, but you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. How about we just go by melanated individuals? And once we think about all of this, when you think about the different realms of human life that's occupied by black people, we will come to the conclusion that there's no such thing as acting black. So if you see me talking articulately, if you see me if you see me, I don't know, just living life, know that I'm not being a sellout. I'm just living life, yo. But I think that Sambo behavior is still very prevalent. If you are selling out people or doing harm to people who look like you all for the applause for a dominating society, for a dominating group of people, i.e., white people, then that will make your behind sell out. 100%. 100%. If you are down talking people who look like you, all to appease people who don't look like you, that's some Sambo behavior. 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000%. That's Sambo behavior. That's why I don't trust black politicians, to be 100% honest with you. I don't trust black politicians. I don't care. I looked at the debate between Raphael Warnock and the football player, I forgot his daggone name. I'm like, I don't trust either one of these dudes at all. I trust no black politicians. I don't trust any politicians. But black politicians, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at with 6 eyes. A black face in successful place does not necessarily mean success for everybody. Because how do I know that you are not going into that space with the mindset of a overseer head slave? That's all I'm saying. So when we really think about all that, one can be a Sambo. One could be a buck dancing, step and fetch it Sambo, just trying to appease a certain group of people. But one is an Uncle Tom, and they're not a sellout. And what makes one a sellout? When you are going up against the best interest of not people who act like you, but people who look like you. You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense? And also, I would like to distinguish this before I get up out of here. Listen, I tell this to kids regularly because they need to know, because I hear the word racist thrown around all too loosely. Check me out. If you're black, if you are a melanated individual, you cannot be racist. It's impossible to be racist. How? I'm gonna tell you how. First of all, racism is is a systemic construct that that benefits one group of people. That's why you talk about white privilege. You don't hear very much about black privilege. Why? Because that's why black people, numerically speaking, have very little privilege. There's the black elite, there's the talented 10, but that does not overlap, that does not consume a large population of black people, right? We're going with the black connotations to keep this thing moving. I will tell them that's like me showing favoritism and helping students who are black like I am, and not paying no attention, not showing no love to students who are not black like I am. That's racism. I'm sorry you had to hear that. Allergy season. Um, Bigotry is what you're thinking of. Bigotry is when you hate people because of the ethnicity that they are. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? When I was a kindergarten teacher assistant, I got like 70% of my hugs from, kids who did not look like me. You know what I'm saying? Little Asian kids who love me, of course, black kids who love me, Hispanic, all of that. So I got love for everybody. I got love for everybody. But bigotry, if you just look at someone and say you're Asian, I don't like you. You're Hispanic, I don't like you. You're black, I don't like you. That's bigotry. I will also say prejudice. Prejudice is when you look at me and say you're black, therefore you must not know your father. I do know my father. I'm not close to my father. I don't deal with my father, but I do know him. You must like rap music. Yeah, I like rap music. I do. You must sag your pants. Yeah, my sagging days are far behind me. You must smoke weed. Nah, never smoked weed my entire life. So you know what I'm saying? That's prejudice. In other words, you're prejudging someone before you even get to know them based off of the stereotypes that are attached to their ethnic background. So I attend Mercy Hill Church here in Greensboro. If you walk into Mercy Hill, you're going to see more white people than anything else. Why? Because I just happen to like the way the pastor speak. I've been in and out of that daggone church for like 6, 7 years, and I just happen to have a talk with myself and realize I just happen to like going there. However, I'm a Pan African. I want to see a growth of black businesses. I want to see um I'm gonna talk about black businesses in just a minute. I want to see a growth of black businesses. I want to see a sustaining and maintaining of HBCUs. I want to I want the black I want the black narrative to go far beyond slave movies, trauma pieces, and Black History Month and Juneteenth. I wanted to go far beyond that. I was rocking with Juneteenth and Kwanzaa. I was rocking with Juneteenth long before Joe Biden, who is no friend of black people at all. No friend, only a pandering Democrat. Don't, oh God, stop, Adrian. Don't get on that soapbox. I was rocking with Juneteenth long before Joe Biden made it a national federal holiday. If anything, I think that kind of like dilutes it. So I'm Pan African, politically, socially, but I don't mind going to that church to get what I need, you know, in terms of rocking with the Bible. Um, what was I getting at? I'm sorry, I got lost. So I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fasting. So pretty much, black people are not monolith. There's different shades, different personalities of us in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There's the nerdy ones. I'm nerdy to a certain degree. There's the jocks. There's the athletes. All that. Therefore, please don't tell the nerdy kids that they are acting white. They're not acting white. They're just being smart and they're being intellectual about things. Okay. All right. That being said, yo, come see me in Beautiful, the Carole King musical. I'm playing the drifter, and we're killing it right now. Rehearsal process is great. At one point, I was like smiling. I was full of joy. I was like, "Thank you, God, for this. Thank you so much for this, because I'm loving it." This ADQ's Renaissance. Yo, if you like this episode, if you want to hear more, if you want to be tapped in, yo, like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to channel ADQ here on YouTube. ADQ, this has been your Monday morning. Go out there, show love to everybody. If we love ourselves, we will thrust that love onto others. And if God allowed you to wake up to see a brand new day, then you best believe that God has more business for you to stand on. Okay? All right. I'm ADQ. Much love. Peace.